All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be here. This beautiful morning. So if you just give us a couple of minutes, we're just trying to get some of the other people um onto this call, and we will get started. I mean, I know everybody's at work, so I'm going to try to make it very quick so that you can all get back to your day jobs as it is. So once again, thank you, and we will start in a minute. Right. Okay. So I think I'm good to go. Right. All right. So, Benga, you can start your recording as it is. So, once again, thank you very much for being here, everybody. It's great to have you all here. I can see a couple of my friends, Mr. Tinchikende, and colleagues, Mr. Larry Lawal, and many others that are here. Thank you for taking out of your morning to join me here. It's definitely great to have you all in here. So let me just go straight into my presentation. Once again, I'm very much aware of that everybody's at work, so I'm just going to do this very quickly. A nice clean scan off. Right. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I apologize. I was going to start my computer before this session, but I got caught up doing something else, so I ended up not doing that. So I think my computer is in dear need of a restart at some point in time. But hopefully, it will take me through this whole session successfully. So, can you please confirm if you can see my screen and if you can hear me? Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can.
Brilliant. Thank you. Once again, thank you very much for being here. So, this is the launch of this program. The program in itself is going to start next year. We're not starting it this year, we will be starting next year. But I mean, it's good that we launch it so that people will know what it is. We're also going to share the presentation and share the recording with everybody that is here, and we'll also put it on YouTube so that people can see what the course is and they can refer different people to this course. We've taken the time to build this course, and we think it's a great course in itself. And once again, I'm happy to have everybody here. So once again, thank you very much for your time. Let me go straight into it because I want to finish very quickly so that I don't take too much of your time. So it's the Smarter Manager program, and I'll share with you the concept of smarter in a second, and it's I'll also share with you what made us create this program in itself. Like, how did we arrive at this program under our business school? And it's an accredited course. We've taken the pain and the time to also get accreditation for this course in itself. So it's not just something that we pulled out of under the bed in our house, so to speak. It's an accredited course to the ISO standard for educational institution management system, as it is. So, and I mean, the nickname I will say is the compact MBA program, because it covers all the things that you will do in an MBA, but we're covering it not from a theoretical perspective at all, but purely from a practical perspective that adds value to organizations. So there's nothing here that is meant to be theoretical. Everything here is meant to help an organization move to the next level, move to the next stage of their maturity, and just become a better organization in itself. So as a person, I mean, I have 2 MBA degrees as it is, so I think I know enough in terms of what exactly constitutes an MBA program. But it's really the Smarter Manager program as it is. But yeah, it's our compact MBA program, but it is actually our Smarter Manager training course in itself, and it's under our business school, the Training Heights Business School. So it's different from all the things that we do under Training Heights normally. This is primarily tied to our business school. So a lot of people might have seen these flyers. So they contain the 12 areas that we're going to be covering. And we also, I mean, because of course for us as an organization, it is one leg in Nigeria, the other leg in Ghana, and hopefully we'll sit on 3 legs, where our third leg will be in Kenya as it is. But I mean, I think over the past 13, 14 years, it's been one leg in Nigeria and one leg in Ghana. So there's hardly anything that we're doing that Ghana is not heavily involved and supposedly represented in there. So that this is important, and it's critical as it is. So if you're going to take something away today, this is one thing you should take away. The 12 areas that we've considered to be the competencies that every manager should have. And that's why we said you're meant to be a smarter manager, not just a smart manager, but even a smarter one. So if you look at these 12 areas, we've picked them carefully to say, what should every forward-looking manager, the kind of manager that organizations are looking to hire, looking to promote, looking to give specific responsibilities to, what exactly are the competencies of this manager? What should the manager know? A great manager, somebody who's going to become a great manager, what should they know? And we've carefully curated this course and once again gotten it accredited. And everything here is aligned to one international best practice or the other. We're tempted to start writing where we've created all the content from in terms of that mix of this, because everything is from one international best practice or standard or the other. But it will make this look too rowdy, so we decided to skip writing that in here. But of course, we had to put it for something like risk management. Everything we're doing there is tied to an ISO standard and to something called COSO. Also for operations and process management is tied to ISO 9001, and even for the project manager management is tied to both PMBOK and also for Agile, which is the Scrum methodology. And Training Night as an organization in itself is accredited to all these international standards and best practice. So once again, this is an initial assessment. So everybody, can you please give yourself a score over 12 in the chat room very quickly, everybody, just by looking at this? And I'm not talking about the theory of it. We're a training school that prides itself in being very focused on not just knowledge, but on skills. So everybody, I want you to go to the chat room and just give yourself a score. Give yourself a score. What do you score here 5/12. I mean, hey, it's just something that I would like to see. So everybody should look at it to say, what do you score over 12 here? 5, 6, 7, 8, in terms of your ability to demonstrate these things at work. We're not asking you. A lot of people here, I can see Nike here. I can see many people here who have degrees in all sorts of things and from all sorts of places. So we're not, this is not a competition for degrees. This is your ability to be able to demonstrate these things at work. You know, do you have evidence that you do risk management as a person for what is underneath you? Do you have a report that says this is the risk report for my line of work or for the area that I cover as I move into the year 2024 or 25? I beg your pardon. This is so you being able to say that, you know what, this is the people side of my work as I move into the year 2025. This is how I'm going to do recruitment. This is how I'm going to do training and skilling. This is how I'm going to do performance management. Do you have a plan on the technology side for the area of work that you cover? Do you understand the finance that is tied and even the economic environment in whatever country you're in? Do you understand what it means to create a product and a service and to upgrade it or to update it? Do you really understand what is involved when it comes to legal, regulatory, and compliance side of your organization? So once again, this is what every manager, we believe as an organization that every manager that is going to be a great manager in the year 2025, these are the key things that every manager needs to know. And these are the things that every manager needs to be on top of and needs to be able to demonstrate and manage adequately within their own sphere in an organization. And I'm going to go through the 12 of them. Once again, we're just launching the course. It's a 5-day training course, and it's going to be offered next year as virtual. Public class is also going to be offered as a customized session for in different places to different organizations. We already have some of this information. So we already have some clients that have shown interest in this, and some of them are even on the call. Once again, we're just doing our formal launch of the program today. The program in itself starts from next year. And it's many people, I mean, excuse me, there's so many experts that are going to be taking different parts of it. We've created the course. We have some of the trainers are even on this call. They're all the people who do this as part of their day job. This is what they do as individuals as part of their day job as it is. So a lot of this is going to be happening next year as it is. But I'll go straight into this. So this is our concept of this is our concept of smarter manager. This is our own concept of smarter manager, right? This is our concept, right? Sorry, it's distracting me. Sorry. I mean, they're smart, right? Everybody knows about the smart model, but I prefer the smarter model. And of course, people have different naming conventions. You know, when it comes to A, for example, some people will say action oriented or achievable. When it comes to R, for example, some people will say realistic, some people will say relevant. When it comes to E, some people will say evaluated, some people say ecological. When it comes to R, it doesn't really matter, right? The most important thing is that you take these things into consideration. We're not overly worried about whether we call it R or you call it this. The most important thing is about it's about value. And it's about deliverables in your own organization. So this is the concept of the Smarter Manager program for us, as I said. So the concept of something being very specific, something being measurable is a big deal. Something being achievable, I prefer the achievable A. I prefer the realistic R. I mean, time bound is time bound. I prefer the evaluated E and the reviewed slash readjusted R. So I really like the model on my left, but some people will like the one, some people like the one for reward, which is to the right. Once again, it doesn't really matter. You can take all these things into consideration and you can become a much smarter manager than others, whether you decide to use achievable or action oriented, realistic or relevant, or you decide to use reviewed or rewarding. The most important thing is that you become a smarter manager. And if an organization that is made up of many smarter managers, that organization eventually is going to be a smarter organization. An organization is made up of the sum total of the people that are within it. An organization is made up of the sum total of everybody that is within that organization. So you will end up becoming, if your organization has many smarter managers, right, across, that means you have smarter managers in every unit and in every department of the organization. The sum total of that will become the fact that the organization is going to be a much smarter organization than its competitors in the marketplace. So the organization will be very specific around what they want to achieve and their objectives. They'll be very measurable. They'll be focused on achieving their goals and their objectives. They will be realistic. They will be relevant. They're going to have a sense of time with everything that they do. They're going to evaluate their progress, and they're going to both review, readjust, and even reward good behaviors across the entire organization. So this is our concept of smarter. And I'm hoping all of you can take this with you, and your own organization can say, well, we will prefer reward or reviewed, or we're going to use both reviewed and reward. I mean, you can even have double R, you can even have double A, you can even have double R as it is. The most important thing as an organization is that you get this right and your managers become smarter, and the overall organization in itself becomes smarter in as it is. All right, we use this internally, and I brought it here because everything we do internally, our planning, I mean, even our prayers, we're always focused on these things. And I mean, it's end of the year, right? So every organization is getting ready for 2025. We started getting ready for 2025 at the beginning of October, like I dare say even in September, just trying to get ourselves ready for next year. And if you look at this, once again, this is what we're telling ourselves internally. We've got an office in Abuja with maybe a dozen people. We've got an office in Ghana with maybe 2 dozen people. We've got offices here in Lagos. And with all the managers that work in the organization and all the senior people in our own organization, definitely about 100+ people, this is what we're using to think about our own organization. And there's a clear alignment between how we're thinking about our organization and the content of this program. And that, I said at the very beginning that I'll share with everybody the reason why we're doing this is because we truly believe that even internally in our own organization, all our managers, both managers and senior people, they all need to be smarter. They all need to be smarter than being smart. They're all smart, but now we're talking about being smarter. And one of the meetings we had, I think 2 months ago, we were saying to ourselves that our organization has got many parts to be managed, and we can't throw away any portion of our organization. Our IT team, internal IT team, probably is about almost half a dozen people as of today. That's our internal IT team. We've got a marketing and sales team that is definitely about a dozen people or more, apart from the technical delivery people. And so you can see here, I picked this slide purely from straight from our own internal documentation, because this is how we're thinking internally. As an organization, we can't afford to forget about anything here. We can't afford to be left behind. We can't afford not to know what it is that we are doing, or how to get on top of this. This is important, and it is critical to us as an organization. We also believe it's critical to every organization. So it's not just about being critical to us. It is critical to every organization. Every organization needs to be aware of this, needs to know about this, needs to know exactly how should they approach these things. And I'm going to ask all of you, as you go into the next year, as you go into the year 2025, go with this slide, go with this thinking, and start to ask yourself, what are we missing? What are we doing wrong as an organization? Where are we missing something? What do we need to improve upon as we go into the new year? Once again, this training program, this Master Manager Compact MBA program, is directly aligned to this, and that's what it covers in itself. So everybody in the chat room, amongst this first 16 or this 16 that are on the screen, which ones will you consider to be the top 3? Give me the numbers in the chat room, everybody. I want some interaction here, if you don't mind. When we were doing our meetings internally, we've looked at it. We said number 5 and number 6 is the most important thing we need to get right as an organization. As I said, everybody's going to get value out of this, but we as an organization, we badly marketed it. We're not a great organization when it comes to marketing, when it comes to branding. We're not very good at those things. I mean, if you look at the number of people here on this call, they're definitely not up to 100. It's because we badly market, and as it is, we're good at sales, but we're not great at marketing. And we're very focused on technical delivery. So as an organization, our people are very good with number 4. Our people are very good, excellent with number 8. Right? They're great with number 7, great with number 9. But we're very poor with number 5. Year in, year out, we've struggled as an organization with number 5. If we could get number 5 right, we'll become a global institution, because we've got great products, we've got great services. And once again, these are the kinds of things organizations need to be thinking about. These are the kinds of things organizations need to be dealing with. Those are the kinds of things organizations need to be on top of. Because I'm talking about us as an organization, Training Heights, A4S. But I mean, your own organization, yours might be a different problem. I know some organizations that their problem is number 2. I know some organizations that their problem is number 1. I know some organizations, while we are very good with technical delivery, I know some organizations that struggle completely with number 8. I know some organizations that struggle with number 16. So the idea is every organization needs to go away, look at what it is that they're good at, what it is that they're not great at, and they need to ensure that they get on top of this, even as they go into the year 2025. Once again, these are the kinds of things we're trying to equip our managers with. Well, and that's why we're bringing experts from everywhere. There are all sorts of experts that we're going to bring in to be able to get this done. So it's not one person that is training. As I said, Nike Omojokun is on the call. She's a sales and marketing expert. We've got people who HR experts. So it's not a course delivered by one person. It's a course delivered by multiple persons as it is. So my favorite saying in the world is that you cannot give what it is that you don't have. So any manager that is going to deliver results, that manager first must have these things. You can't give what you don't have. A manager cannot give what he or she does not possess. So if the manager is struggling in maybe number 4, then you're going to see that what sits within them, the business that sits with them, the department that sits with them, whatever it is that sits with them is going to struggle. So, and we're not talking about just, I mean, some of these things are very personal, right? But they're critical things that are important to an organization. So we're not doing it from person up. We're doing it from organization down. Because if a manager is struggling in one of these areas, the entire organization is going to struggle in itself, right? Yeah. Also, organizations need to start to think about outsourcing, because you might not be great at certain things. You might be very poor with regards to different things. So, in fact, somebody came to me and said, "Do you want to outsource your marketing to us?" And I mean, I'm always happy to do that, because we're not good. We're even internally as an organization, we're not great at everything. Some things we're very poor at. We do the best enterprise architecture training in the entire West Africa. Like when it comes to training, we do the best. Even the big organizations outsource some work, outsource a lot of work to us. But internally, we just are very poor with our marketing as an organization. We just don't have people who get marketing. And once again, you also need to go back and look at your own organization. So, lastly, in the chat room, all right, everybody, what do you consider to be the top three? Just give me the numbers. I'll come to the chat room in some minutes. Give me the numbers that you think that are the most important. And you can speak from your own organization, right? So we're not trying to say, oh, speak about the public. No, no, because the face of each of this is different for every organization. Each of these things need to be customized. How it works in my own organization is different from how it works for my neighbor or the guy who owns an office next to me. Even though we might even be in the same industry, the interpretation and the execution of everything that is on the screen is very different. All right. Let me move on very quickly. Once again, I'm very mindful of time, of your time. I mean, I have the whole day to do this, but I'm mindful of your professional time that you've granted unto us, and I want to make judicious use of your time. Once again, these things are very applicable in every industry. I think some industries might be more important than others. I always tell people that if you want to go into business in the areas that when people wake up in the morning and go to bed at night, they're going to use something from that industry. So people are going to wake up in a house. So number 12 is very important. They're going to use all sorts of fast moving goods as it is. So number 7 is very important. They're going to dress up. So number 6 is very important. And most people will not go through an entire day without eating. So number 4 is very important. People are going to go to the hospital. They're going to give birth. So number 2 is very important. People are going to go to school. So number 3 is very important, right? People are going to make payments and use banking services. So number 11 is very, very important. People are going to get on the bus. They're going to get on the plane. So number 15 is very important. And people are going to make calls. So number 16 is very important. So for me, I think some industries are more important than others. Of course, people are going to argue and disagree. They're going to tell you that, see, we can't do anything without buying fuel and buying kerosene. So number 14 is very important. People will watch TV and listen to music every day. So number 13 is important. People will tell you that, number 4 emanates from number 9, right? And of course, service in all sorts of service industries. And of course, what can you and I do without the government in themselves? And all the billboards around us and all the marketing on TV, on radio, and newspapers. And of course, what's that thing that they say? Problem no they finish. Try they enjoy. Number 18, people are going to they're going to get into trouble and they're going to need lawyers. So, there are all sorts of industries, right? And this program and the course in itself is applicable everywhere. Public institutions, private institutions, wherever that industry is, these things are very applicable. So you can't say that a government institution should not be thinking about this. You can't say that, a law firm should not be thinking about this. You can't say a radio house or a farm. Everybody should be thinking about this, and these things are important to all the managers. I also picked this from one of our other slides where we say these are personal skills. So, these things are very important. So personally, all of you should have these things, but the organization should be worried about this. So this is what I call this particular slide top down, because you're thinking about the organization and how it dovetails to the manager, right? But the manager himself or herself should have all this. So there is definitely a relationship between what it is that we're teaching and these personal skills, as it is, because there's leadership there, there's strategy there, there's sales there, there's finance in there. So sometimes when we're speaking to disparate individuals, most of our courses, it's organizations that send people in there. So we kind of really, can you hear me mute that person, please?
The people that the Alma guys, let them come in through that Friday to sign in their contract.
Okay, there's somebody that is speaking. Can that person please mute their mic, please?
Tomorrow, they plan that. My Friday now, I want to do learning and development.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So once again, These are the personal skills that all of us should have. And so in the program, these same skills are passed across to people. Now, I mean, this is a book of mine. This is the extract from the book of mine that talks about the objectives of every organization. And I mean, I use this everywhere in all conversations, everywhere that I go, to say that organizations really should be focused on certain objectives. And the funny thing is that it doesn't matter whether you sell a recharge card or whatever it is. This same objectives that you've got. Everybody should have a strategy. Everybody needs to make revenue. Everybody needs to be worried about profit because you can make a lot of revenue. I looked at one of our businesses yesterday and I said that, you know what, this particular area of our work, we need to close it down because I looked at their revenue, I looked at their profit. The profit does not even pay the salary of the two people who work within that business. And I told the accountant that, you know what, let's just close this particular thing that we're doing because it doesn't make any sense. Maybe we made assumptions about the market. Maybe the market used to be great. Maybe it's different. So I mean, we do prometric exams where people come to do exams, but maybe people are not doing exams like they used to. Maybe most people have already left the country. It could be one thing or the other, but now I'm saying that, you know what, it's not making sense. The amount of money I'm using to run the prometric center is too much, and I don't want to continue doing that. And I think all businesses, these are the kinds of things we pass across in the training class, or we will be passing across in the training class. All businesses need to think like this. All managers need to think like this. I was working with one of my managers this last month or this month, and the person wrote a strategy and he said, oh, we're going to make money. And I said, what does money mean? Money is meaningless. You've got to give me a figure. Then the person gave me a figure, and I told her, like, you know, but this figure, your direct cost, not even talk about your indirect cost, your direct cost, and where the projections for your cost in the new year might be as much as $5 million every month. If your line of work or your area that you're managing is $5 million every month, how can you then tell me that you want to make 100 million? 100 million won't pay your bills, because if I add your indirect cost to it, there's a cost for your rent, there is the cost for your parking, there is the cost for your computers, there's a cost for many things. If I add your indirect cost to it, it will come down to about $10 million every month. So your direct and your indirect cost as a business is already 120 million in 1 year. How can you then have a target of 100 million? It means that you don't know what it is that you're doing, because the minimum you should be looking to make at the end of 1 year should be at least about 150 million bucks. Without that, you can't even run effectively or successfully run your business. So these are the kinds of things, once again, managers should know. Managers should be concerned about costs. They should understand customers. They should understand what gives the entire organization a competitive advantage. I've got somebody in HR in my organization, and I tell her, I'm like, you're fine with HR. I don't think you have an HR problem, but you don't even know what we do. Do you know our products? Do you know our services? Do you know why people come to us? Do you know why people buy from us? Do you know what makes us different from the competition? If you don't know about our business, then your ability to be able to do HR is going to be hampered. Are you thinking about innovation in your business? Once again, these are the kinds of things we discuss in the in our training class, that we will be discussing in the training class. You know, I mean, I've closed down a business because I ran foul of number 11. I've been doing business for 22 years, to be precise. So I've seen it all. I've made $1 billion and I've lost more than $1 billion. So I've made a lot of money and I've lost a lot of money. So I know what brand means. I know what business performance means. I know how you should be looking at the risk for the year 2025. I went to an organization recently and I was telling them that you should at least expect possibly a 40%, maybe even a 50% increase in your costs, in all your operational costs for next year. Because your fuel is going to increase, your cars are being depreciated, your landlord is probably going to come to increase one thing or the other. The cost of doing business is going up. So these things are for real, and every manager should know these things. Every manager should be aware of them, And once again, these are the kinds of things we're going to be doing next year. In modern day, you can't do without technology. You can't have an organization that does not know anything about corporate social responsibility or does not do anything at all with regards to corporate social responsibility. You can't run like that going forward. You need to have a board. You need to understand what's the value of a board. Why do you need to have a board? You need to grow, because if there's not no organization can stay stagnant. It's either you're growing or you're going to disappear eventually. Let me move on very quickly. I like this methodology, right? Because I mean, I was in
Sir, you are muted.
I don't
Doctor,
know
you are
how that.
muted.
Yes, thank you very much. I don't know how that happened, but I didn't mute myself. But thank you, right? As it is. So thank you for that. So once again, I like this methodology. And as I said, I was watching something on TED Talk that was talking about intelligent questions. And I've got all sorts of books in my background that should talk about asking the right questions, asking intelligent questions. And I like this because this is one of those process improvement things. And I like the questions that are there. And if you really want to solve something, you have to ask the right questions. Your problem resolution approach starts from asking the right questions. How do you ask the right questions? And one of the best way to ask the right questions is the use of 5Ws and 1H. And I have my own methodology called 5Ws and H squared, because how is not enough. How to even measure is also included. So I have how that the particular thing will be done and how it will be measured. So I like this methodology. Every manager needs to know this. Every manager that was going to get everywhere must get anywhere at all must know what this is. They must know what Kaizen is. They must know what process improvement is. The concept of what is a Muri, right? So you can see 3 MUs. You can check it online. These are the kinds of things. If you're going to have managers that are going to help your organization grow, they're going to help your organizations or your organization become global, then they must have answers to these types of things. Let me move on very quickly. Once again, because of time, I want to quickly go through this. Yeah, and everybody needs to know gap analysis. And when we do our work, sometimes if you look at to my left, I've got something there that talks about 15 different areas when it comes to gaps. Because, sometimes when clients tell me that, oh, we want to do gap analysis, I'll be like, in which area or in what area? Gap analysis is a big deal. A lot of people think they want to do gap analysis around number 7, which is fine. Or you want to do gap analysis around number 4. Or you want to do gap analysis around maybe number 5 or number 6. Or you want to do gap analysis around number 10 or number 15. Because, culture is a big deal because you have everything in place. There's the book that says culture eats strategy for lunch. There's a book like that. If you go online, you will find it. So organizations need to know this. You can't have managers that are unaware of the concept of gap analysis, and in gap analysis in which area. I've seen in my lifetime and with maybe 1,000 organizations that I've worked with in 22 years or thereabout. I've seen gaps in different areas. I've seen that, in fact, most organizations will never go anywhere because the gap is really coming from the leadership. The leadership is where the biggest gap is coming from. I always tell people that, why do banks close down? Right? Is it the branch manager that made the bank close down or the CIO? No, it's always tied to the board. Who gives unapproved loans beyond a certain limits and all that? It's always something tied to the board. And so when we talk about leadership, we're talking about both the executive, but the board and the executive as it is. Most organizations will not go anywhere. Even most fintechs, most organizations, I might even be the one that might be holding my own organization down because everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Once again, these are the kinds of things we're going to be discussing. So this is module 1. We've got 12 modules. This is module 1. And if you don't have a documented strategy as an organization, then you don't know what you're doing. Because we're not talking about, even for your personal life and your role in your organization and your responsibility, you should have a strategy. And your strategy should be measurable. And I mean, and that's why this is a key portion of what it is that we do. Well, how do you write a great strategy? That's something I had to give to people in my organization at some point in time. Said, what is your SWOT analysis? And I would say, and all of them felt that I was saying the SWOT of the business that they manage. No. And I was saying that the first SWOT is the SWOT for you as a person, your personal SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is both personal and departmental, and it can be personal, it can be departmental, and it can be organizational. Because once again, you can't give what it is that you don't have. If a manager is weak in a particular area, cannot use Microsoft Office, cannot use PowerPoint, cannot do a presentation, it's not personable, then the portion of the organization that the manager, the entire organization is going to suffer from that same thing. So we're definitely going to look at strategy. You can't you can't do strategy like that thing that people do at the end of the year. What's that thing they do on the 31st? New Year resolution? No. The strategy, you need to, it must ideally must be ready by the end of September for the new year. Ideally. Because strategy, you need to plan it forward. You need to think about it ahead. We're also going to look at a concept like balance scorecard, and we're going to look at the concept of organizational performance. Because when we say performance management, people think personal performance management. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about organizational performance here. When we get to HR, we're going to talk about OKRs and personal KPIs. But here we're looking at the KPIs that belong to the business, and they're tied to the strategy. The strategy is meant to be defined and executed, and it's meant to be measurable. In here, we also look at the concept of innovation, because what's that thing that they say? Innovate or die. It's either you innovate or you disappear completely. So in the training class, we're going to review these things. We expect that, when we're going to be doing it, we're going to have pre-reading materials, pre-reading exercise, pre-class exercises, and even post-class mentorship and coaching. So because we realize clearly we can't finish everything and dig to the right level that we want to dig to right in the class. So the idea is that even post the class, we're going to have a coaching and mentoring session for 6 months at the very minimum for people who have finished one session or the other. Once again, I'm mindful of time. We have our own internal leadership approach, and this is it. This is our own leadership. Once again, this is a book of mine, as it is. This is a book of mine. So we have our own approach to leadership. And that's what we've inculcated into this. This is no nonsense leadership. This is not leadership like motivational speaking. This is not leadership like, you want to speak to an audience, or, what's that thing? You want to take a keynote address. This is not leadership. This is really measurable leadership. Real leadership, tangible leadership, the leadership that ensures that you get results, ethical results. Leadership that ensures that you get you get your results ethically. So we've got our own approach to leadership. It's part of the course content in itself. And I like this innovation approach. I did a webinar on this. It's somewhere on YouTube, I'm certain, on innovation, because there are many ways by which you can innovate. People like to use the word innovation carelessly sometimes, because you can innovate across many areas. You can innovate around the product, around the process. It could be the channel. It could be your customer segment. It could be your structure as an organization. It could be your services. It could be your brand. It could be the network that you use, the network of partners that you use. There are many areas by which you can innovate. So you can't use the word innovation carelessly and just say, let's just throw the word in the air and just say innovation. It has to be used carefully within a certain context in itself. All right. This is module 2, which is risk. We do this for a living, so I can talk to you about this all day, because we do this for a living. We do risk management training, enterprise risk for different organizations, banks, telecommunications, and all sorts of entities. And risk is key. Every organization should have a risk report for 2025. It should be ready. What exactly makes up high risk for you? Also, when you're thinking about risk, is it a threat or is it an opportunity? Is it a threat, which is negative? Is it an opportunity? Because the definition of risk talks about uncertainty, and it says it could be a threat. Something that is negative. It could also be an opportunity, something you can take advantage of. And we're going to talk about ISO 31000 and also the COSO framework when we do this in the session. All right, so that's module 2. This is module 3, where we talk about corporate communications, branding, and marketing. And of course, people like to argue what's the difference between each of these things. There's some slight differences. It's not a big difference, right? But they're just slight differences. The most important thing is that your organization and its product is appropriately pushed into the market. That's the most important thing. Your entire organization and its products and services are appropriately pushed into the market, into the minds and into the hearts of your prospective and existing buyers. Overall, that's what it is. So the slight differences between when you're doing corporate comms, when you're doing branding, when you're doing marketing, slight differences. However, overall is that your entire organization and its products and services is appropriately projected into the marketplace, both into the minds of your existing customers and your prospective customers, and your overall stakeholders in very simple and clear terms. And this is an area of specialization. I'm not an expert here. I have my expertise around it, but I won't call myself an expert around this. So the people that we're going to bring in at some point in time, they're going to have these kinds of conversations. They do this for a living. They speak to organizations about this. Somebody worked into my office some days ago, and was telling us of how he took one brand and he put them on on CNN, sorry. He put them on CNN. And after putting them on CNN, the organization has expanded. Now they're hiring more people. People are coming to them for all sorts of things. So, and I can tell you, this is one of the areas that kills businesses, the inability of a business to market. A lot of companies have great products. Architectural firms, they've got they're great at what they do. Some guy makes shoes. I mean, there's a guy that made some shoes for me recently. Brilliant guy. As in, like, if I was going into that line of work, I would have taken this guy. I would have taken him. I would have been taking his shoes around the world on his behalf. Excellent, like top notch. I mean, my wife is very critical when it comes to a lot of those things, but she's like, "Wow, this is completely out of imagination." Makes brilliant, beautiful shoes. Why does he? Is he selling 10,000 pairs every month? Of course not. What do you think is his problem? Inability to brand and to market appropriately. A lot of people have great products. A lot of people have great products. They have great services. I know excellent lawyers. I know excellent architects. I know excellent doctors, but they've got a poor brand and they don't know how to market. It doesn't matter what it is that they know how to do. In as much as they can't brand and market, it almost makes no difference. I just told you now, there's some courses that we run, and we're the only ones accredited with regards to these things in the entire West Africa. I can put my money on it. Nevertheless, we don't have the market share. Why? We do poor branding and marketing of our products and services. So this is a big deal, and a lot of people need to take this into consideration. Let me move on very quickly. Once again, sales, right? The concept of writing a proposal, the concept of making presentations, the concept of closing deals. And it's a life cycle. It's a series of things. So sometimes when I'm speaking to my salespeople, I was speaking to one of them, was it last week? I said, "Oh, what happened?" He said, "Oh, you know what? What really happened is that I have 20 leads and I've been following up on them, but only one closed." I said, "That's the problem. You have 20 leads. You should have 200 leads. If you have 200 leads and you close 10% of them, then you'd have closed 20. Because good salespeople can only close 10 or 20% of their leads. It's global. You can't close everything. So what you do is to open up the funnel so that you have 200 leads. Out of 200 leads, within a certain period of time, if you're able to close 10 or 20%, you should be able to hit your target. Of course, if you're marketing badly, then there's no point even having conversations around sales with you, because marketing comes before sales. I know all of us talk about sales and marketing because that's how some of the textbooks wrote it. I remember when I was also younger, I go to the organizations that used to put the things on the they put like a label on the room. They'll say sales and marketing department. But in reality, when I grew older and I started running a business, I found that marketing must come before sales. Sales is closure. Sales is exchanging money. So you can see number 7, it's about money. Number 7, money comes in. You close a deal. You can close a deal, but if money does not come in, then you wasted all your time. I have work orders in our organization that the organization canceled later and they never fulfilled. So, I mean, you need to write a proposal. Whether the proposal is a 1-page proposal, half-page proposal, your proposal might even be on WhatsApp. But a proposal needs to be written. You need to make a presentation, even if the presentation is a phone call, and you need to close the deal. How do you negotiate? What do you say? How do you negotiate? What do you say to the person to close the deal? How do you ensure that the money comes in? These are key things. You can't afford to have managers who don't understand marketing and who don't understand how to close the deal. Where do you go to close the deal? How do you market? And how do you close the deal? And move on very quickly. The organizations need to create and recreate their products and services. Products need to be updated. That's one of the challenges. People think that the product used to work is a guarantee of the fact that it might work even into the future. Nothing tells you that. There are no guarantees that because it worked in 2024, it will work in 2025. Products and services need to be updated. They need to be refreshed. They need to be rewritten. They need to be reworked. These are critical things that need to happen. Because you had products and services that worked before does not mean that they can't be updated, they can't be improved upon. Your delivery in itself needs to be improved. So we're going to look at this. How do you do this? What is the method and the approach by which you can say, I'm going to review my products at the end of the year. I'm going to update them. I'm going to change the wrapper. I'm going to make them look nicer. I'm going to rebrand them. I'm going to make them go faster, just so that you can deliver better value to your customers. This is one of our areas of work. These are the things that we do for a living as an organization. So we're going to talk about operations and process management. In our organization, we probably have 40, 50 people that this is their area of expertise. And you can't have a business that does not improve its operations. In fact, we have a principle. We say everything is a process. Everything is a process and everything can be improved. Strategy, development, and execution can be improved. HR can be improved. Customer service can be improved. IT can be improved. So this is important. We also will teach you this within the context of ISO 9001. And we think that every organization needs to do 9001. I'm sure if there was a competition, we do better 9001 than most. Let me not say than every. Let me just say that than most. And I think we have more than enough evidence to prove that as it is. So yeah, so this is one of the modules we're going to cover. I mean, for the people who are accountants, I even have an Excel document that captures it's like a template in one workbook. One of the worksheets is it's a template for income statement, a template for balance sheet, a template for cash flow. And as basic as that, a lot of organizations don't have that. As basic as this is, a lot of organizations, they don't have it. So in the training class, it's very practical. How can you be the manager for a business, a department, a unit, and you don't even know whether your unit is making money or your unit is a cost center, is a profit center? What is the contribution to the bottom line from your unit? What do these 3 statements mean? What are they used for? I'm not an accountant, but I definitely know more accounting than this level as it is. But we're going to have people this is the work in our organization in itself. We have in our organization, we have about 5 qualified accountants within our business. So we're going to have all sorts of accountants outside. I know many accountants, ACCA, ICANN experts that will end up covering this portion of the work in itself. Supply chain and procurement is another key area, right? So how do you, where do you buy? How do you buy? Who do you buy from? I mean, I always say, when I used to sell IT licenses and devices and things like that, I said, I used to say to people, I say, your distributor can make or mar you. You can go to a distributor and the distributor says, you can take my goods, but make sure you pay me after 30 days. And if you're lucky and it's a good organization, they can pay you less than 30 days. Or the distributor can say, pay me 60 days or 90 days. That distributor is an angel to your life, because that's the difference between you being able to win the work and being able to deliver it, or otherwise just the distributor giving you on credit, on your personal personal credibility. Because if you need to deliver something for $10,000 or $20,000 or whatever amount of dollars that it is, and you need to bring that money and you don't have it, then you can't deliver it. It doesn't matter if they give you the work order. Right? But if you have the work order, then you go to the distributor and the distributor is nice and kind to you, right? You should go and give thanks because of that distributor, because that is the difference between being dead or alive. Being able to fulfill that work order is usually tied to a distributor giving you some credit. So you have to think about your entire supply chain. Who are you buying from? When do you buy? How much credit can you even afford to give out as a person? There are many things. There was one time I was running a business and I had people who were selling for me. As I'm saying it now, the face of the lady comes to my mind. She sold more than 100 million naira worth of goods for me, and we never collected any of those monies. Because they were even delivering Cisco boxes to the clients without even a validated work order. Sometimes the client just tells them on the phone and they go to deliver it. So when they changed the executive management of that bank, I must have lost about, we got some of those monies back, but at least I lost about 50 to 60 million bucks. I said, then I told you, at some point in time, I made about $1 billion and I've lost more than $1 billion. So, if you don't understand supply chain and you have managers who don't understand this in its entirety, then there's a problem. Then you're going to have a problem at some point in time. HR is a big deal. We've got our own framework. That's it. So you can see that I cropped this from one of our own documents. So we've got 20 things that we think HR should be doing. So we have templates around these things, right? We'll share them during the training. 20 things that we think HR should be doing. And even inside of some of them, there are about 2 or 3 things that we've lumped under one. But your organization cannot say you're doing HR and you miss out on any one of these things. Not even one. You can't afford to miss out. But most people don't even know that HR needs to really think about information security, whether your organization is certified or not. If your organization is certified, then there's no point even discussing it. And that, of course, then number 6 is compulsory every year. But even you're not certified, it's important that your organization does information security and privacy as part of its work. So this is our own model. We didn't copy it from anywhere. We put it together. All right. This is we have intellectual property tied to this as an organization in itself. And this is, it's all about people. Every business is a people business. Every business is a people business. It doesn't matter whether the people are educated workers or laborers. It's all about people business. You need to be able to find the right people, and you need to be able to work with the right people as it is. All right. Project management. So of course, everybody talks about project management and agile transformation. So this is also key. There's a new version of the project management body of knowledge, version 7. I don't like it as much as the version 10. I'm sorry, version 6. The version 6 used to have these 6 knowledge areas. Now they put some of the knowledge areas on the principles. They put the others under the performance domains. I don't like the way they've reworked the whole thing. I prefer the older version. It was clean and it was clear. These 10 areas called the knowledge areas. Very clean and very clear. In the new version, they've scattered it a bit, but we cover it within the right. And I mean, why we like to talk about projects is that everything that is capital expenditure needs to be managed as a project. Everything that is capital expenditure needs to be managed as a project. Please write that down and take it home. If it's capital expenditure, it needs to be managed as a project. And if it's going to bring you capital revenue, then it needs to be managed as a project. But we don't stop at project management. We also do a lot of the agile scrum. We also encourage people to take some of the free exams that we have relative to some of these areas. I think second to the last is IT. This is the year 2025. You can't, I mean, if you're struggling for Microsoft Office, if you don't have a platform like Zoho, you don't have a platform like Odoo, then your organization is not going to meet, is not going to get to you, is not going to be here for a long time. I can promise you that. If you don't have these platforms to drive your internal operations, your organization is not going to make it for the long term. Maybe you'll make it in the short term. If you as a professional, you don't know these platforms, you don't know what they are, what they do, what they're used for, how they can help your business does not have Microsoft Office and these kinds of things, oh, then there's going to be a problem. You're not going to be able to get to where you want to get to. And once again, because this is our work, we do this all the time. So you should go, and if you go onto your Play Store, your whatever store you have, you will find Zoho to download. There's a free version online. You'll find Odoo. Having an ERP, you can't have. How can we have managers in the year 2025 that don't know about ERPs? What kind of manager will not know anything about an ERP? I mean, how? Every organization needs to have an ERP. Every organization needs to have an ERP. This is not a joke. This is not something you play with. It's going to affect your organization if you don't have something like this. Of course, can we do without AI? No, we can't. We have to have artificial intelligence. If you're a manager and you don't know how artificial intelligence can help you do your work better, then you're in trouble, really, you are. You're missing something. If you don't understand how AI can help you achieve your objectives, get your work done, improve your business, deliver better value to your stakeholders, which AI tools should you, because AI is more than just checking stuff. That's very important. Checking the ChatGPT or checking AI on your phone, that's important, but it's definitely way beyond that. It's definitely way beyond that. So this is also important that every organization should have an AI strategy. In fact, this is the last portion that we do, that we're going to be doing in the training class. This is the one we're going to do on Friday, because that's how we would like to round it up. And of course, people have to do an exam. It's an accredited course. If you don't do an exam, even for this session, we're going to send you a link for you to do what we've called the foundation exam, like an introductory exam, about 30 questions. It covers everything that is in this slide. We're going to share the link with you, and I'm going to encourage you to do that. Lastly, it's this: legal, regulatory, and compliance management. And if you don't know this, you're going to still close down your business if you violate legal, regulatory, and compliance. Whatever it is that applies to you, whether you're in Ghana, you're in Nigeria, you're in Kenya, all your taxes, the things you need to do with regards to environmental levies, health and safety, pension, and all these things, labor law. If you violate these things, you will close down your business. You need to maintain what we call a legal, regulatory, statutory, and contractual register as an organization. Once again, you can't have managers that are ignorant of these things. If you're going to have somebody called the manager, then the manager needs to know about these things. All right, people, these are the things that we're going to be covering in our training program. As I said, these are the 12 things we're going to be covering in our training program. I want everybody to go into the chat room and tell me which of this 12 things, which is your favorite, which is the top 3 that you think you need to specialize in as a person. Please go to the chat room. We've pretty much come to the end of this. Go to the chat room. I want to read from everybody. If I've taken my time to speak to you for 1 hour, please just do me the small favor of going to the chat room and telling me in the chat room which top 3 are critical to you for your role, for the work that you do, for your deliverables, for you to become a smarter manager. Which top 3 are critical to you as a person? So please, I want everybody to quickly do that. I want to go to the chat room. I want to rest my screen. Now, which top 3? Quickly write it down, type it into the chat room, everybody. Which top 3 are the most important to you as a person? Which top 3 are the most important to you as a person? All right. We're going to be having this course next year, everyone. Yeah, I'm going to be having this next year. I'll put the Israel, if you're on the call, you can put it in the chat room. You can put the flyer in the chat room. I'll put the flyer in the chat room in a minute. We're going to be doing this next year. So we're going to be having it as a public class, virtual class. And we're also going to be having it for different organizations that want it physical, implant, customized, and even some that have said they want it as offshore training in itself. So pretty much that is it, everyone. I want to go to the chat room. Let me try and read from people because I've told people to put different things. What is your big takeaway, everybody? Please, also, what are the top 3? Thank you very much. Let me see the people that have written here. Okay, what are your top 3 as it is? All right. All right. Function said I may be wrong with some decision, right? SWOT analysis. Yes, please fill the links. If you're going to, yeah, we've got fill the links. You need to fill the feedback, the attendance and the feedback form. Christian, thank you very much. Biodu, thank you. I, Stella, thank you. Augustine, thank you. Mr. Tinji Kehinde, thank you. Ike Loakpo, thank you. Bayemi, Timita, thank you very much. Damilari, yes, thank you. Ruth, thank you. Kyle Deoliemi, thank you. Happiness, thank you. Stella, Bio, Jalil, thank you very much. Please fill the feedback form. Fill the feedback form. John, thank you very much. Ruth, others, please. We've got about 70 something people on this call. Please, everybody, I want you to tell me. I mean, also just, I mean, give me your feedback, everybody. What's your big takeaway from this session? We're going to bring this to a beautiful close in a couple of minutes. Everybody, what's your big takeaway from this session? And of course, the people I was asking that what areas do you want to go and ensure you get better? You want to drill down, you want to specialize in as it is. Everybody, give me your thoughts as we bring this to a beautiful close. The idea behind this is for people to bring their managers. It's for them to bring the managers to use the training as some kind of retreat as an organization to say, what are we doing badly? What can we do better as an organization? Please, everybody, what's your big takeaway? Everybody in the chat room, please, what is your big takeaway? Everybody, Tala, thank you very much. Sorry about that. My teams went off for a second again. All right, so I was asking. I said, please, everybody, what's your big takeaway from this session? We definitely look forward to seeing all of you on one of these courses in the new year. But what is your big takeaway, everybody? Quickly. All right. Thank you. Yeah, execution, absolutely. This is not a theoretical session. There are many programs that people can take when it comes to knowing about the theory of things. There are many programs people can take. Our focus on the for this program is not the theory of it. our focus is the practice of this whole thing. So our focus as an organization is how do you is about results. As I said, for me, leadership is about ethical results. Well, leadership is about ethical results. All right. So put some things in the chat room, everybody. All right. So if you look in the chat room, let me read from a couple of other people. All right. Let me read from a couple of other people. Thank you very much. Learn to execute. Philip, thank you very much. Philip Lawrence, thank you very much. Learn to execute. Any other person? Mr. Toye, thank you very much for taking the time out to be here. And everybody that is here, quickly, can I take thoughts and opinion from everybody as we bring this to a beautiful close? Yeah. Thoughts, opinion. We're going to share the link for the exam with the people that fill the feedback form. So please, I'm going to encourage all of you, please fill the feedback form. Please fill the feedback form. Please fill the feedback form. All right. And all right, please fill the please share the link for the feedback form. Guys, can you please share the link for the feedback form? Let me take your feedback, please. What is the big highlight for this? Angela Gbenga, can you please share the link? The people are waiting. Please share the link for the feedback form. Let me hear from others, please. Thank you very much, Adeduro. Thank you. What is your personal takeaway, everyone? What is your personal takeaway? Gbenga, Angela, they're waiting for the feedback form. What is your personal takeaway, everybody? What is your? I want to hear from everybody, if you don't mind. All right. I want to hear from everybody, if you don't mind. Okay. What is your personal takeaway? I want to bring this to a beautiful close, right? Okay. Hey, guys, they're waiting for the feedback form. Mr. Hammond, thank you very much. Sonny, thank you very much. Yes, determination towards your goal. Organizations are going to need to be smarter. As I said, it's a new the year 2025 is going to be a different year. It is definitely going to be a completely different year. Yeah. So you can't go into next year being unprepared for the year. You cannot go into next year being unprepared for the year. You cannot go into next year being unprepared for the year. So the idea is everybody should go into next year being prepared for that particular year. It's going to be a great year. I believe so. I believe it will be a great year. And yeah, we all just need to go into it completely prepared. We'll share the link for the exam. Please fill the feedback form. They've put the feedback form. They'll share it again. Please, we'll share the link for the exam. Okay. Yeah, we'll share the link for the exam. We actually have not concluded on the cost, so just send send us any email, and when we conclude, we will let you know, because we're also thinking about the physical class. So I mean, you can reach us, you can reach Mira, you can reach all of us, and we'll share the slides with you. So it's not a problem. We'll share the slides with you as it is. So yeah. But you need to please make sure you pass the exam. Make sure you pass the exam as it is. Okay, thank you once again, everybody. It's great to have you here. On Monday, I will be having a session. On Monday, I will be having a session on compliance. I will be having a session on compliance. I'm sure if you're here, we're going to share the link with you. On Monday, I'm going to be having a session on compliance. So we'll share the links with you so that you can come on the call if you want. It's free. It's going to be about the same time as today. And I'll also try to make it quick on that day. We'll send you the Smarter Manager Foundation exam link. And if you pass, you will get you will get um you will get your certificate. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for coming. Thank you. We appreciate you. Some of you, you're always here for any and everything that we do, and we appreciate the trust that you're vested inside of us. Thank you very much. For the people that this is the compliance one is probably the last thing I'm doing for the year. At least I know that as a person. I know we also have something on cybersecurity this Friday. If you're interested, you can send us an email. We've got a cybersecurity event that promises to be very interesting. My friend Ayokle will be taking the session, so that will be very good on Saturday. Sorry, on Friday. So you should join us, and you can join me on Monday for compliance. And if I don't see you in any of those sessions, I will say thank you very much for coming. Merry Christmas. I wish you a fantastic 2025. It's just in another 35 36 days thereabout. I will be in the new year safe and sound, hail and hearty. So once again, thank you very much. I'm signing out here now. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sir. Please, everybody, we would like you to join our community group for more informations and updates. So please, I've sent the link in the chat room. Please go ahead and click on the WhatsApp link that is in the chat room. Thank you so much. And like Dr. said, have an amazing day and Happy New Year in advance.
Okay, somebody said they want to take some pictures. So, right, if you don't mind, you can switch on your camera. My camera is on. So if I can get about 10, 15 people to quickly switch on their cameras, thank you very much once again. Everybody, for me, thank you for taking the time out to be here. Mr. Tunji Kennedy, it's always great to have you here. You're like our chairman on without a letter yet. We'll send you a letter eventually, right? Right, so that you can take us to all the parts of Africa that we've not been able to get ourselves into. Yes. Others, please, very quickly, if you do not mind, everybody, if you don't mind, very quickly. Benga, when are we? Or you please you share the links with them. Some people also complained to me that they registered today and they didn't get the link. I don't know what it is that must have happened. You want to look into that so that you want to share to share both the recording and other links with them. Everybody, please, if you don't mind, can you quickly come and pull up your cameras? Let's do this very quickly. We want to quickly round this up. I want everybody to go back to work in the next 2-3 minutes. Mr. Kwabena, it's definitely great to see you. Tyro, it's great to have you here. Everybody, quickly, where are all the others? Let's make this very quick. I want to go. Jalil, thank you very much for being here. All right, thank you. Who else is here? Mr. John, thank you very much. Mr. Philip Lawrence, thank you very much for coming. Tayo, thank you for taking the time out to be here. Who else is here? Is there any other camera I'm missing? Yes, Mr. Kayadulu, thank you very much. Mark, thank you very much for being here. Who else am I missing? We've got Onyelade. Benga, I hope you sorted these things out. Rick, thank you very much. Ayadeji, Mr. Bayan, thank you very much for taking the time out to be here. And happiness. and Mr. Christian Injoku, and Rare, and Mr. Larry, Mr. Ayola, Blessing. Thank you very much, Winga. I hope you've done what you need to do. Promise, thank you very much for being here, Oyinlade. Thank you. In As it is, I think by and large, I think we should be good. Are you good, Winga? Are you good? Are you good? Ninga, are you good?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you
We
good?
are. We are, sir.
Okay, you've taken the pictures you need. Are you
Yes,
good?
sir.
Okay, so maybe you can tile. Well, mine is tiled, but I mean, it goes all the way to like 4 different screens. Mr. Kadi, once again, delay me. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you. Have a great remaining part of your day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So everybody, you will get the recording as well, the YouTube link to the recording as well. Please try and subscribe to our YouTube channel too. Thank you. God bless you. Love.